In today's tech news, Apple is expected to report slower than expected revenue growth as its latest quarter faces several challenges. Analysts predict a modest 3.8% growth for the company, a stark contrast to the 6.1% increase from the previous quarter. The slow rollout of artificial intelligence features and intense competition, especially from China, have weighed on Apple's performance, including during the crucial holiday shopping season. A major factor contributing to this downturn is Apple's relatively slow adoption of artificial intelligence in its products. While rivals like Google and Samsung have leaned heavily into AI to drive device sales, Apple's iPhone 16 series, launched in September, lacked notable AI-driven features at its release. While the company has promised improvements, such as a more advanced version of Siri, these updates won't arrive until later this year in certain regions. In addition, a recent misstep with an AI tool designed to summarize news brought further attention to Apple's challenges in the space. After the tool failed to generate accurate headlines, it was pulled from service, facing criticism from media outlets like the BBC. These incidents highlight the growing pressure on Apple to compete in a landscape increasingly driven by AI capabilities. The competition in the smartphone market has never been more fierce, particularly from Chinese manufacturers like Huawei, which has seen a resurgence in the global market. Apple's market share dropped in the final quarter of 2024, falling from nearly 25% to just 23% globally, with a steep 10% decline in China.
Today, we're going to have some incredible updates to our platforms. I've been hearing from people all over the world about their interest in this incredible product. So I'm happy to announce we're bringing Apple Vision Pro to these 8 countries next, starting with China, Japan, and Singapore on June 28th.
Despite efforts by the Chinese government to boost local consumption with subsidies, these incentives primarily target mid-tier smartphones, well below the price point of high-end iPhones. Apple's struggles in China are notable, given the country is one of the company's largest markets. The growing preference for domestic brands alongside aggressive pricing strategies and government support has significantly impacted Apple's sales in the region. Despite these challenges, analysts expect Apple's overall revenue for the first fiscal quarter to show some growth, but at a slower pace than last year. iPhone sales are forecast to increase by just 1.9%, down from 5.5% growth in the previous quarter. Other product lines like the Mac are expected to see moderate growth of 2.3%, while iPad sales may rise by 4.2%. The standout performer for Apple remains its services business, which continues to see strong growth. Services are expected to increase by 12.9%, showing a clear shift toward Apple's expanding ecosystem of software, cloud services, and content subscriptions. Like many global companies, Apple also faces the impact of currency fluctuations. A stronger US dollar in the final months of 2024 has put additional pressure on the company's international revenue, further complicating its outlook for the coming year. While Apple remains a dominant force in the tech world, the combination of slower AI adoption, increased competition, and external economic pressures is challenging the company's growth trajectory. As the year progresses, all eyes will be on how Apple navigates these headwinds and whether its product innovations, including AI updates, can help turn the tide.